Their flag flew high. I wrote this after a terrible incident of another incident of racial terrorism in America. But after this incident, people start calling for the banning of the Confederate flag, you know, the side that lost the Civil War. And it flies. I'm from the South. I know you don't hear it because I'm here. So when I talk with other Southerners, you hear it. But when I talk to you guys, I probably start saying stuff like whilst and whilst and stuff that I find difficult to say, like crisps. So, but I'm from the South, so it is my culture. And as a part of my patriotism as American is to be lovingly critical. Our flags came down after these terrible incidents. But I was reading this poem in preparation for today, and I was thinking, but wait a minute, I could also be flying the same, I could also be reading these words and flying a flag of love, flying a flag of pride. So, be it a flag that you wear for love or for hate, maybe there's a flag that you absolutely hate that means that to you, or a flag that absolutely represents something that you're proud of. Imagine that. Imagine that flag and we'll be on the same page. Their flag flew high. 9 people murdered in a church, and their flag flew high. Preachers and politicians and mamas and daddies and grannies and granddaddies and aunties and uncles, just everyday people and on their knees living their lives and all taken from the earth in an instant, and their flag flew high. Their flag flew high, and as people stared back at the cold blue eyes of the murderer whose piercing gaze unleashed a reign of terror on the innocent, their flag flew high, and the killer's cold blue eyes are too dry from hate to weep. Their flag flew high, and we immediately saw flashbacks of black and white images of bloody black and white images in cities and towns all through the dirty South, and places that earned their titles like Bloody Birmingham, where plenty of churches were bombed by Christians and where full little girls were murdered by their Sunday school time, and everybody else was left weeping. Each one somebody's daughter, and each one didn't grow up to see their own fates and were knocked off by somebody's hate, and their flags flew high. It was one of the bomber's own kin who grew up and revealed the truth years later, and their flag flew high even then, even now. Their flag flew high upon the Capitol, and especially when the stars and stripes were lowered to mourn the 9, and their flag flew high and fueled the fire, furthered the pain, and their flag flew high, raising terror over the state, and their flag flew high over the state grounds, and their flag flew high even as bodies lay dead, others long buried, and their flag flew high when mamas cried for their babies, and their flag flew high when entire communities were terrorized by their hate, and their flag flew high when Confederate General Robert E. Lee fought under it, and their flag flew high when generals and soldiers and daddies and uncles and brothers lost their lives fighting each other to defend it, and their flag flew high when they refused to disbelieve the myth, and their flag flew high when they refused to let go of the past, and their flag flew high and it cut like a knife, sliced like a sword. Their flag flew high and it hurts. Thank you.